The Patriots Pregame Show is presented by Dunkin'. You just got a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, hash browns, and a coffee for $6. Order now only at Dunkin'. Participation in times may vary. Prices vary in California and Hawaii. This is a limited time offer. This is the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin'.
He's throwing it towards Thornton, left corner of the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, New England!
The Patriots Pregame Show is your source for all the news and information before every game.
He took it to the house again!
Here we go!
The Patriots take the lead!
Patriots Nation, welcome to the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin'.
And the Patriots are on the road again in New Orleans, hoping to get another win after that exciting one in Buffalo last week. I have Paul Perillo, Mike Dussault. I'm Kwani Lunis. We're really excited, of course, to get into the game. There's so much to break down before their potential, their matchup against New Orleans. But I do want to start with you first, Paul. 2 straight now for the Patriots. What has stood out to you about this team and the way that they've been playing overall?
I think there's a belief. That's the thing that stands out to me the most. You can go individually and talk about Drake May's second half, and in the last 2 weeks, Stephon Diggs has taken it to another level. But I just feel like overall, there's a confidence that's developing and a belief in what they're doing. They're getting tangible results. So I think it's very easy to buy into what Mike Vrabel is trying to sell. And in the first 5 weeks, I said that like Mike would say it. And there's a believability, and that's good. You ever notice how
stress the last 2 words?
Just the last couple of words.
He's nailed it.
But I feel like there's a belief in sort of a confidence that's developing for a young team. I think that's enormously important.
Yeah, I piggyback on that, talking with Jack Gibbons a couple of weeks ago. We had him in here. We interviewed him, and he said he got home from practice that Friday and just was saying to his wife, really good vibes, really good day at the office today. And I think they've only continued to build on those good vibes. And certainly when you win games, it reinforces what the coach is selling. I like Mike Reese's little bit today about how they pick the weekly captains. And Vrabel puts up high school highlights and everyone's hooting and hollering. So I think right now Mike Vrabel is pushing the right buttons, but this is another quality test on the road, another hostile environment. I know you don't think of the Saints as the Bills and what Bills Mafia is, but still, I think that's
fan base is
good
still
fan
intense.
base. It's loud down there. Everybody's down on Bourbon Street getting ready before the game. So I think it's another great test, second week in a row on the road for the Pats.
And to that point both of you just made, they have cleaned up a lot this season. Obviously, we saw all of that play out in Buffalo. But what has changed for you specifically that has made the most impact for this team?
I think, right now it's Drake May and Stephon Diggs making plays, and that's really what I think got them the win last week in Buffalo. But look, give the defense credit for their run defense. I think they've been really good up front. I wasn't quite sure if I was buying that early in the season. Sometimes get a couple games, it's somewhat circumstantial early in the season, but last week they really showed me a lot against James Cook, and they'll have to continue it again today. I think it's a huge part of this game is, the Saints are looking to sustain drives, little chunk plays here and there, and get their way down the field. I think the Patriots have to come up, tackle, not give up big gains in the run game, force Spencer Rattler to continue to execute over and over again, and I think they'll either stall out or force mistakes.
Yeah. Last week, the New Orleans defense forced 5 turnovers. How do you foresee that affecting
don't do that.
today's
Don't
game?
do
Right?
that.
Don't do that, right?
I mean, that's the Giants. I mean, and we're seeing a little bit right now with the Jets and the Broncos playing where special teams mistakes, a safety, things like that you don't really predict during the week, that those are the things that can pop up and really dramatically affect a game, even if you feel like maybe on paper you're the more talented team. It's the biggest thing today, the Patriots. They can't hand this ball to the New Orleans. They can't make it easier on them.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah, I mean, we saw what the Giants did, like Kwani said, and that's the easiest way to keep the underdog in the game is by turning the ball over. The Patriots have cleaned that up, and it's pretty clear line. When Drake May is clean with the football, they're 3-0. When he turns the ball over, they're 0-2. So it would seem to be a pretty simple way to ensure victory. Now, that's a lot easier said than done. Don't turn it over. Thanks, Paul.
Right. Hold on to the ball when 300-pound men are trying to punch it out of your arms. It's not the easiest thing in the world.
Well, here on the Patriots Pregame Show, presented and fueled by Dunkin', we love our keys to the game, so we're going to get into that.
You've waited all week for it.
The whole team's in the locker room right now just listening to this, waiting to hear what you're going to say.
Here are this week's keys to the game.
All right. Who's going first this week?
You want me to go first?
You can go first.
Little tribute to our old host, Hardy, who could not resist using jokes when we would do our pregame. So my key and important, no turnovers by you.
Now I got you picked up the pun mantle from me. I love it.
I know. Hardy probably used it too much, but
It's new to me, so
and
it's
I don't
funny.
know if it entirely fits for what I did there, but let's just pretend it does.
We'll take it.
Don't let the New Orleans pass rushers get by you.
There it is. So wait, we're gonna keep the tradition, and I will note, Paul, what did they lose by in that game? I think Hardy was referring to. Was that the?
It was 34-0, I believe.
34
Nice.
nothing last time you were here. I think they did that. But feeding into what I said at the top, you can't turn the ball over today. You can't make this one of those games like it was last week for New Orleans, where the Giants gave them 5 turnovers in a row. New Orleans only had to score 1 big touchdown. Otherwise, it was all done with their defense and special teams. So that, to me, is just the most simple way to break it down today. Drake May, be smart with the football. Don't try to force stuff that isn't there. You wonder if he's kind of got a surge of confidence right now and he thinks, hey, I can't go wrong anymore. And maybe he tries to push it a little bit. I hope he doesn't. But I think that for the Patriots, if they don't turn the ball over today, I think they got a pretty good chance at victory. Biggest key to me today.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think all three of us are very similar in the sort of the meaning behind our keys. Mine's just come to play, and it kind of piggybacks off of what Mike said in the open. I think that they made huge strides in, finding from week 1 to week 5 and going to Buffalo and finding a way to beat the Bills on that national stage. So don't just make it a one-off. Make sure that you get focused. And now, last week you weren't quote unquote expected to win. This week you are expected to win. So show up accordingly and come to play. Come focused. Don't be remembering how good you were last week. The difference between a lot of teams and the really good ones is their ability to do it again. Repeat the performance. I think they're a better team than New Orleans. I'm not looking down my nose at the other teams suddenly. I mean, I remember in week 1, the Patriots played the Raiders, and they lost. And they should have lost. The Raiders were better that day. The Raiders players were better than the Patriots players on the field. It wasn't because the Patriots turned the ball over a million times. They lost the game because the other team was better. I'm not naive enough to think 5 weeks magically changes all that, and now these teams are nowhere near their level of ability. No, they're not. There's not that big of a difference between New Orleans and the Patriots. I think the Patriots are better, but it doesn't matter what we think. The Patriots have to go out, they have to show up, come to play, and prove it.
What do they call it, Paul, when they kick a team down in soccer to those relegation?
Relegation.
So when you're in relegation, you don't win one game and you're out of relegation.
Right.
Now, you're
keep
playing
going.
a 4th place schedule this year, so you have to win all these games. We'll talk about if they're out of that next year. And I think that they have a very good chance to be, but acting like they've suddenly made it, they got to continue to go out there and find some consistency. It's been far too long, since this team has strung together multiple wins, 3-game win streak, 4-game win streak. So one game at a time. I think they understand that, and I'm pretty confident that Vrabel's preaching the right message to go down there and, to Paul's point, come ready to play.
Yeah, I like a cross-sport analogy, by the way, because I've always wondered if a team was really bad in the NBA or NFL, why don't we put them in the G League or something like that?
We call it a 4th place schedule league in the NFL. That's what it is. It's like, congratulations, you get to play all the other 4th place teams. So, but look, that's what their schedule is like this year, so take advantage of it. A lot of times we see every year teams with this 4th place schedule come out of nowhere, make the playoffs. Patriots have that opportunity this year. Agree.
And like Paul said, mine, very similar, own the new identity. And I love what you said, Paul, about don't remember how good you were, because at the end of the day, we know the NFL is a week-to-week basis, but understanding the momentum that the past 2 wins has brought this team, I think is very important. We're looking at Drake May, completing over 67% of his passes during that stretch, passer rating of 98.6. He's showing that growth, and we talk about his connection with Stephon Diggs. And that's going to be what's needed to keep this offense moving and get these wins that they're hoping to get.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go to what Stephon Diggs said this week, Wednesday, hearing from him weekly from his locker, and said, I think this week might even be a bigger challenge us for, to sustain it. We all know what Buffalo is. We know they're a division rival, and we also know that Stephon Diggs was very focused and locked in last week. So for him to be saying that and leading that example as a guy who, no question, he might have had a little extra juice last week, but for them to bring that same juice this week would be the sign of a team that's a good team, developing.
The Bills clearly didn't take that matchup as seriously as they probably should have. So similarly, they can't downplay New Orleans either.
Yeah.
Them coming off of a win that they desperately needed last week.
No question. Yeah. And I mean, you've seen, look, they've got some talent on their roster. They've got some old guys that are still hanging in there. And, like we were just talking about last time, the Saints who were up here, they handled it to the Patriots pretty good. So we'll see what they got today.
Yeah, we probably should mention
Efton Chisholm.
Yeah. Well, I was actually going to say Christian Gonzalez.
We'll get to that
start with the star player
is active, and I know that he was listed as questionable. Kind of an interesting situation during the course of the week, Mike, with him being a full go, not even on the injury report on Wednesday and last week, and on Wednesday, and then on Thursday he shows up as being limited, was limited again on Friday. And I think Mike Vrabel sort of lent some legitimacy to that in his Friday press conference by saying that he would work out before the game, and that's when they would make the final determination. Well, he evidently made it through that workout pregame, and he's going to be good to go today. He's up, as they like to say in football parlance.
Is that like X-Plays? Is that the slang
yes.
that the kids are using these
very
days?
Similar, as my Uncle Joe would say, them they're a simula. So I would say that's a really good sign for the Patriots. And you just saw the look at the list of the inactives. Jalen Hawkins, Anthony Jennings, Keon White all declared out on Friday.
Yeah.
But Eric Gregory and Caden Wallace are the two that are added, along with Tommy DeVito as the emergency quarterback. So that means, Kwani,
Yes.
Drum roll.
the people's champion,
Yes.
Terrell Jennings. No.
Efton Chisholm.
Efton Chisholm.
Efton Chisholm.
Is up.
People have been emailing about him all season, really.
Oh, man.
He will make
Don't get too excited.
He will make his debut. We think.
Right.
At least on the sidelines. But there is a lot to dive into with some of these people who are out. Jalen Hawkins last week was on the injury report with a hamstring, somehow was able to play against Buffalo. He hasn't really participated much this week. He's going to be out as, one of your starting two safeties. Does that put Kyle Duggar in the mix or Del Pettis? Kyle Duggar played I think 4 or 5 snaps. I mean, not a lot at all.
He didn't play much.
His role was trending downward. Is he ready to jump right back in? Is Del Pettis ready? I'm not sure exactly how that's all going to play out. I think probably when we see warm-ups here in a second, you might get an idea. But then also talk about the edge with both White and Anthony Jennings being out. So, Truman Jones, who Mike Vrabel spoke very highly of this week, said, I'm not allowed to have favorites, but if I did, he'd be close to the list. Another guy who kind of popped this summer, and all of a sudden when we got into
the Harvard
preseason,
kid, right?
Harvard kid, he's getting a little bit more run than you would have thought. The Braden Swinson was a draft pick. You thought, but Truman Jones, apparently he fits what they're trying to do. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Clavon Chase on his back, so that you have your 2 top defensive ends in. But I think there'll be opportunities for somebody like Truman Jones maybe to rush the passer a little bit on third down. And the last one, just to say, it sounds like Milton Williams is active, but dealing with an illness which popped up early this morning. Does it pop up on the injury report? They announced it this morning.
Right.
But,
Is it the Bayou Blues?
the Bayou Blues. I will say, of all the players, I don't think Milton Williams seems like the least likely to be out on Bourbon Street last night. But it is that cold and flu season is coming quickly. So.
I can't. I love this drop.
So just some interesting things there on the defensive side of the ball that they're going to have to figure out at edge and starting safety, 2 significant positions. So
offensively, though, we know last week Antonio Gibson going on IR now as a result, unfortunately, that season-ending ACL tear. But we were talking about running backs in post-game last week. Who do you feel as though can take on this load?
Yeah, it's another great question because we know Ramondre Stevenson, you'd love him to be the lead back. Are they ready to hand that back to him and give him 20, 25, 30 carries today? Paul and I have been talking all week about Terrell Jennings, who 2 summers ago, last summer I should say, was kind of impressive. He didn't do anything crazy, but he ran the ball a few times in the preseason. That's
just he seems like a hard-nosed guy. Now, when he's had his chances, it's generally been late in games.
I think he got promoted 1 game last year, so we
he
haven't
averaged
seen much
under
of it
3
all.
yards a carry. But he seems like he's a physical guy. Mike and I kind of liked him, liked his style. But I don't expect him to have a huge role in this game. But you can't go into a game with only 2 running backs.
Yeah.
So if something were to happen, one of them, obviously.
It's like no matter what happens, it's going to be interesting. Either it's Ramondre getting the full, lead back kind of carries, and then Travion Henderson maybe is your third down back. Recent years, they've had running back injuries. You've seen them deal with a smaller unit there, smaller roster size at that position group. But if Ramondre gets a ton of carries, if Terrell Jennings gets a few, it's going to be a new look there, and as well as a safety.
Speaking of the new look, you got the all whites today.
We have Efton Chisholm, the man of the people, warming up.
First time that they've worn the all white since that Thursday night Tampa Bay game, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
which
correct.
Don't ask me what
That's
year that
correct,
was
Paul.
because
I
don't
remember
2017,
that. I believe.
Okay.
I believe.
But what I'm interested in here as we watch Kyle Williams and Terrell Jennings and now Ramondre Stevenson with Chisholm. Did one of these guys get an opportunity to return kicks alongside of Travion Henderson? Because I wouldn't expect Chisholm's going to be part of the offense.
Yeah.
But where he could factor in is, do they want to put him next to Henderson on the kick return unit? I think teams seem to be kicking away from Henderson a little bit. So you might want to have someone else over there. I don't know if that Kyle Williams would be
he's back there too.
He would be the choice for me. I think he handled a lot of kicks during the summer. Chisholm as well. So I think those guys are both options.
Yeah, just hang on to the
how
ball.
that goes.
All these new guys touching the ball. You want to make sure.
Hopefully they'll only get one chance anyway.
Right.
What does that mean, Mike?
Kickoff, just the kickoff.
What does that mean, Mike? They're only going to kick off once, bro, because they're going to shut them out.
That would certainly be a way to limit
by
it.
you.
Well done.
Oh, good. Walked right into that one.
We actually just got a question because Efton Chisholm is active. With Chisholm being active, do you think this is a game where Williams and Chisholm get involved more in the offense? Like you just said, I predict this game will be 3 in a row for the Patriots, winning easily 28-10. That's Kyle and Pembroke.
Got John Hendrix on the line.
Oh, sorry. We'll get straight to him then. All right, we're going to time now, of course, for Behind Enemy Lines. It's brought to you by Pepsi. Game day is here, so stock up now. Grab a refreshing Pepsi Zero Sugar 12-pack right now because tailgating deserves better. All right, we're welcoming in now our Behind Enemy Lines guest, John Hendrix from New Orleans football.
Oh.
Give me one. Thank you. I thought he was facing timing as well. Welcome in, John.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
We're doing well. Thank you for calling in.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So we were just talking about the Saints. They came off this win last week against the Giants, 5 turnovers in that game, really kind of getting their defense going. But what exactly do you predict this matchup will be for them coming off of that win and knowing that they are hungry, as we can see, to keep getting more?
Yeah, look, I think you look at a few things on here. They get a little bit of health back with their offensive line, so they get Cesar Ruiz back in the lineup, so that should help out a good bit. They want to control the game on the ground. That's really kind of their mantra. And Spencer Rattler's done a good job with, playing mistake-free and such. But really where they have to get better is the red zone. They were 0-3 last week. They just didn't capitalize on all the turnovers they did get. But, there's a few things that they can do defensively to shore some things up. They got to get a pass rush. Getting Chase Young back in the lineup is definitely going to be a big deal. But for me, I think they ride this momentum. They got a big, thing off their back last week with Kellen Moore and Spencer Rattler getting their first wins of their career. So I think it kind of can continue. It just depends on how Rattler matches up against Mike Vrabel's defense.
Just along those lines, this summer you had a quarterback competition there. What have you seen from Spencer Rattler to win that competition, and then what has he carried over here into the regular season?
I think he's been the same guy. I think he had a lot of learning last year. And he went into the offseason. He took a little bit of time off, not much, but he got to work. And then when he had all the Derek Carr stuff come out, he was a guy that embraced everything and just kind of went to work and said, hey, I'm going to be that guy. And, it was always a thing where he was going to be the guy until he wasn't. And I think he did enough in camp. I think he did enough in preseason. I think he did everything he could to earn Kellen Moore's trust and to get the trust of that locker room. I mean, he's a guy, if you look at how happy they were for him in his first win, they know how much preparation he brings in to the table and what he's able to do. Very underrated. And I'd say he's not going to flash you like a Josh Allen or anything like that, but he's the guy that can play up a level and he's not going to back down from a challenge. I think that's the thing I appreciate and respect most about him is that he's not afraid to go up there and just battle whatever is in front of them.
John, some of the numbers, for New Orleans aren't great, but then you look at the scores of the games, and aside from that one in Seattle, they've all been pretty competitive. What has allowed them to stay closer despite seemingly on paper anyway getting outplayed? What has been the key for them hanging around in these games?
Yeah, look, in Seattle, they definitely just weren't prepared. And I liked how they responded against the Bills. And I don't know, that was a little bit interesting. I thought everybody gave them, a 14.5-point favorite. But they played hard against the Cardinals. They played hard against the 49ers. So I was really, encouraged by that. And I think that's the biggest thing is the competitiveness and just not quitting is really what's been a staple of this team is you got guys that can make some adjustments and they're not going to get down on themselves or tune out of the game or anything. They're going to continue battling. And I think that's what you saw last year down the stretch, too, when Darren Rizzi was the interim head coach, is a team that just wouldn't quit. And even if it is not so favorable on the scoreboard, this is just a team that you just can't sleep on completely because I feel like they'll rally, they'll figure out a way, and once they capture some momentum, they can capitalize on it. And that's what makes them a little bit dangerous, in my opinion, is the fact that, you might think you have them a little bit, but you can't let up against this team.
John, Brandon Staley, really well-respected defensive coordinator. Just want to ask you, how is his system kind of taking hold there with the mix of veterans that you have, along with, some of these newer players? Kool-Aid McKinstry really stood out to me, as well as Brian Bresee. Seems like two young guys who are making a bit of an impact there on the defense.
Yeah, look, it was a little bit slow going. They had some problems getting off the field on third down, giving up some third and longs, third and 10s, and third and 13s. I mean, it was just not a consistent product, but you said it, and Brandon Staley was very well respected. I think they're just trying to continue to settle in because everybody's got to remember they swapped from a 4-3 to a 3-4 this year. And so there's a lot of different looks that they'll give you. They'll play a lot of nickel, having Pete Warner and Demario Davis on the field. I mean, really where they have to get better is the pass rush. I don't know that getting Chase Young back in the lineup single-handedly fixed that, but I know he had a lot of pressures last year, was over 60 last season. So I expect him to kind of ramp up a little bit, but you got to continue to watch guys like Carl Granderson, Ken Jordan, and then in that back end, Kool-Aid McKinstry had a really good game that he needed. And I think that with him and Quincy Riley, who's a rookie, who's going to see a lot of time on the field today, look, they got some younger guys that are seeing a lot more playing time, and I think with time and with playing time, they're only going to get better.
John, we haven't seen as much. I mean, obviously, we're all familiar with Alvin Kamara, but we haven't seen as much from Kendre Miller. And from what I've been reading this week, it sounds like you guys and feel like he may be emerging as sort of the lead guy. What have you seen from Miller to allow you to feel that way?
He kind of reminds me of Alvin Kamara in his first years. He's had some injury problems. He's had some issues with the coaching staff in the past. That was the old regime, but he got a blank slate, clean slate. He's a guy that's a tough runner. He can run north-south, east-west, and he's really tough to bring down. I mean, his balance is incredible. And so, again, I'd like to see him get more involved. They can get him involved in the passing game as well, but he's just one of those that just continues to fall forward. We we do a show with Lance Moore. He's a former player in this league, played a long time, Super Bowl champion, and he said he reminds him a lot of Pierre Thomas, if fans remember him. And so that's kind of his play style. But, I would expect him, Taysom Hill, to get more involved. Only 9 snaps last week. I expect an uptick there as they get him back to form. But, Miller is a guy that I keep an eye on. He's tough to bring down, and you let him get some space in front of him, it's going to be a long day.
John, overall, what matchups do you anticipate that New England will be trying to exploit as we look forward to the game in an hour, less than an hour at this point?
Yeah, look, I think it's there's going to have their hands full with Drake May. I think that's the biggest thing is Drake May's been very good with the football. He's not been taking a lot of shots or anything that he needs to do to succeed here. I mean, this is a guy that I feel like is really coming into his own, and so I think can the Saints get after him because they got that clock in there over the quarterback where they get the ball out really quickly. So I really see if this front can. They're doing better against the run for sure as opposed to last year, but mobile quarterbacks, guys that can get out of the pocket. That is something that I think May can exploit a little bit today. I'm looking at that, and then on the other side. Kind of the New England corners match up against the Saints receivers. Rashid Shaheed is somebody that, started a little bit slow, not on the same page as Rattler, but I think he's somebody obviously had a really great game last week. Can they isolate him a little bit and prevent the deep play, deep shots? Saints haven't been taking a lot of those shots, but when they do, they get the looks. He's the guy. So I'm interested to see that. And then just Rattler against Vrabel's defense in general. I mean, this is obviously a well-respected defensive mind in this league, and him versus Kellen Moore, that's going to be a good chess match to watch.
Well, John, quickly before we go, we have to ask you a prediction. What are you taking?
Yeah, look, I'm the only one on my network that took the Saints this week. I took them 28-24. I'm buying the Kool-Aid, so to speak, and so everybody else picked against me, so we'll see.
We'll see if you're right. Thank you so much, John.
All right, guys. Thank y'all.
Thanks,
Bye.
John.
Thanks, John.
All right, we are going to take a quick break, but before we do that, I have to remind you about one of our favorite brands here on the Patriots Pregame Show. They're brought to you also by the Brunt Workwear. They make work boots and apparel that are built for the job site. Their gear is comfortable, durable, and named after the real workers in the trades that help design it. You can save $10 on your first order at bruntworkwear.com/Pats. with the coupon code PATS. And one more thing, Tostitos. We are going to take a quick break and be right back.
Apparel that are built for the job site. Their gear is comfortable, durable, and named after the real workers in the trades that help design it. Save $10 on your first order at brentworkwear.com/Pats or with coupon code PATS. And by Tostitos. Football fans know traditions matter. They're what inspire us to make masa in Tostitos the traditional way, starting with whole corn kernels. Discover your next tradition this football season. Head to the store, grab your Tostitos team bag, and scan the code for a chance to score an epic experience with the Patriots. Tostitos. Tradition matters.
The future with AI will twist and turn. Cisco is the critical infrastructure for the AI era, clearing your path to wide open possibility. Cisco.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex, this contours to it. So the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience.
The best a man can get
is Gillette Labs.
It's the biggest deal in breakfast, Dunkin's $6 meal deal. You get a medium iced or hot coffee, bacon, egg, and cheese, and 6 toasty hash browns. Dunkin's $6 meal deal is back.
Let there be ideas too big to stay ideas, and the software to make them soar. Let there be anything. Autodesk.
The future with AI will twist and turn. Cisco is the critical infrastructure for the AI era, clearing your path to wide open possibility. Cisco.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex, this contours to it. So the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience.
The best a man can get
is Gillette Labs.
It's the biggest deal in breakfast, Dunkin's $6 meal deal. You get a medium iced or hot coffee, bacon, egg, and cheese, and 6 toasty hash browns. Dunkin's $6 meal deal is back.
Let there be ideas too big to stay ideas, and the software to make them soar. Let there be anything. Autodesk.
This Patriots pregame show is brought to you by Bridgestone Tires. It's important to have confidence when on the road. With Bridgestone Tires on your car, truck, SUV, or minivan, you're riding on tires you can trust. They're engineered to give you peace of mind so you can focus on enjoying the journey. Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Available now at Sullivan Tire.
Join the show by calling in at 855-PATS-500 or email at podcast@patriots.com. Now, back to the Patriots pregame show fueled by Dunkin'.
Welcome back into the Patriots pregame show fueled by Dunkin'. Paul Perillo and Mike Dussault are still here with me. I'm Kwani Lunis, and like we mentioned, the Patriots, as you can see on the screen right now, they are in New Orleans trying to get 3 in a row, and of course, the Saints trying to get another one under their belt after a win last week against New York. But this is exciting.
That's big of you to say that win over the New York. I know it hurts you a little bit.
No, it's okay. I'm fully converted now.
All right, good. It took you 3 weeks. All right, great. Welcome.
So
Welcome
easy.
to the dark side. No, that's, there's Drake.
There he is.
Looking pretty clean with the white unis. So, we'll see how they play in them today.
Do you have a tab of the record in each uniform? I feel like you secretly have one.
No, if it was hoodies, I did.
Of course he does. Don't let him.
He'll reveal it to us one day.
My new thing is the Vrabel, what is the vest? What's the arm sleeve color? So we're monitoring that situation. I don't know if it's worthy of a whole database
he has
yet.
a spreadsheet already. We know
but,
it.
Utterly embarrassing.
We'll see. Well, we just want to make sure we get it right. Get it right. I mean, if he's undefeated in the red sleeves and he wears the blue, someone has
Might
to
need
tell
to keep
him,
it
right?
right.
Yeah,
I still allow him to hang out with me, but it is it's rather embarrassing.
You're a little stitches, right?
I know, it is. Tiny bit.
All right. Well, we're getting calls in already. Of course, our faithful Patty and Agawam. Gonna cue you up first.
Hey, Patty.
I believe what's going on, everyone.
Hello.
I believe the Patriots are 1-0 in these unis, and that one game was against the Buccaneers in 2007 on a Thursday night color rush game.
Wow.
Well, technically, those are the old uniforms, but I guess.
I guess so, Mike.
I'm not sure they've ever worn these particular uniforms.
Thank you, Paul. That's correct.
I would agree with Mike on that one.
So I would hope today that the Patriots defense doesn't get lulled to sleep, because Rattler and this offense, if you've watched these guys, they like to they don't really like pushing the ball down the field, but I mean, if they get the defense cheating up and looking for that short stuff, you saw what happened with that big play to Rashid Shaheed last week. So my big key is just don't get lulled to sleep and go after these guys, because their line hasn't really been good. I know Calvin Banks played really good last week, but and they're getting Ruiz back, but they should be able to get after these guys today. And I hope doesn't matter if they win ugly or if they win big. I just want to win. Let's get out of New Orleans and get on to the next game, baby.
Yeah, I think that's the bottom line. You don't want to be one of those teams. I said this to Fred during the week. You don't want to be one of those teams that won their Super Bowl in the middle of the regular season.
Point. Yeah.
You know, you want to stack wins together and continue to build on the promising start here under the Vrabel regime.
Yeah, I mean, I like the aggressive attacking style the Patriots defense have been preaching since Mike Vrabel got here, and I think that's a little bit more maybe helpful to avoid those kind of games where you can't really sit back. You got to go get the quarterback. But I'm really interested to see Milton Williams. Is he limited? Is he not feeling great? Are they going to have to rotate somebody like Corey Durden in a little bit more? Farmer as well, Josh Farmer, another guy who saw a little bit of an uptick in playing time. Kyrus Tonga's been really good. So, I think in a perfect world, you'd be able to start fast, get a little bit of a lead, and then, you can feel okay about managing Williams a little bit more. Maybe you do get Terrell Jennings some touches, or Efton Chisholm, some of these new guys. Truman Jones, get him some snaps. That'd be great to be able to do that. But, like Paul said, they've lost their first two home games that they lost at home or one-score games. They're shooting to the end zone in the first one, and the second one they stalled about midfield. So, both of those games required defensive stops. So I wouldn't go into this game assuming anything. They better be ready to play today, because there's a good chance this one could come down.
They're only 3.5-point favorites.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're a double-digit.
Just take care of business.
Yeah. The Patriots need to be ready to play.
Yeah.
And we didn't talk that much about Alvin Kamara being, available in this game as well. How do you want the defense to approach him?
I mean, I'm not sure he's still the same player. I mean, he looks like the same guy, which is just, you look at him and you're like, oh, there's Alvin Kamara, NFL superstar. He has lost a little bit of a step. I think, like Paul said, Miller might be the real, the guy that maybe they try to get loose. But generally, I think it's just tackle, come up, make tackles, force them to execute continually. I think Patty had a good point of, if you do allow them to make some chunk plays and start to get their confidence going, then it could go the other way, and you need to really start to stem the bleeding there with the guys up front. So I trust Christian Barmore, Milton Williams. If those guys are able to go, they've been getting after the quarterback pretty much all year. So you got to lean on those guys and let them kind of dictate what Spencer Rattler does today.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to me, is how much they're able to do that. How much they're able to disrupt Rattler. I mean, I just
rattle the Rattler.
On paper, it just looks like they're doing a lot of quick, short throws. Balls out fast. The completion percentage is high, but there's no yards there.
Yeah.
So do you just rally to the ball and tackle, which I think they've done a better job of the last couple of weeks after really struggling in that department the first few.
Yeah.
So continue to do that. Keep everything in front. And then, like Patty said, just keep an eye on Shaheed. Make sure he doesn't get over the top. Olave, too. But I just feel like Olave's the volume guy.
Yeah.
So I don't think they send him on a lot of go routes. Shaheed's the burner. So that's the one way I think New Orleans could figure out a way to get, stay in this game, is to make some big plays. And they haven't gotten a lot of big plays. Patriots have given up more than they should.
Yeah.
So,
and keep an eye on
let's
Christian
hope he
Gonzalez.
stays with the New Orleans side of that.
Keep an eye on Christian Gonzalez, too. Is he... Yeah. I mean, if it is a little tender or whatever, if we're still kind of working through it, I mean, in a perfect world, you'd be able to get him some. Yeah,
and then
some
the
rest
guy
a
who
bit,
sort of replaced, when Alex Austin struggled, it was Charles Woods. Our boy Chuck E. Trees.
Yeah.
He's been dealing with a knee injury.
Yeah.
He's active in the game, but he's, he popped up on the injury report as well. So he may not be 100%. Gonzalez, my guess, is going to be able to go. And as long as this game is competitive, I think he'll be out there.
Have you two liked what you've been seeing from Gonzalez? I know we have a very small sample size at this point, but
I would say he's still working his way back to what he was. And nothing overly bad. Just you can tell that he's not quite there where he was. But the thing that stuck out to me last week with Christian Gonzalez was just, sometimes you talk about guys being fast and you think about, well, he can just run away from people. With Christian Gonzalez, it's like his speed is makeup speed, so that if he does take a minor false step or, they get him a little bit on a fake, he's so able to just make up for that and get back into phase with the receiver. It's, really one of like the underrated parts of like speed. You don't really think of it that way, but I think for him, that's a big part of it. And, I got to highlight Marcus Jones too. I just thought was excellent last week, and not the biggest bunch of receivers here. As we mentioned, the top 3 for the Saints. I think it's a pretty good matchup for Marcus Jones. He's not going to get, outclassed with size. They don't have, the kind of size that we've seen sometimes where teams try to take advantage of that. Last week, with Keon Coleman being an example where, he was really competitive with it. But I think these guys at least match up well with Marcus Jones. So if they do need to lean a little bit more into Marcus Jones, I don't think it'd be the end of the world if it was, hey, Gonzalez is out for a bit. Let's just play Marcus Jones and Davis is the top 2.
All right, we're going to take it out to Nate in Connecticut. Good afternoon, Nate.
Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
Hey, Nate.
We're good.
What up?
Feeling good.
Not much. So, of course, the big news around the Patriots today is Eftham Chisholm being active.
Yeah.
Of course.
Top story.
Of course, he's active. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get a whole lot of snaps. But if he does, I'm probably anticipating something that like we saw in like the preseason games. So probably a bit of slot and, some extracurricular, maybe on the outside a bit or kick returns. What do you guys think this means for Pop in his position? Because he's been primarily the slot guy for us. And, with reduced snaps and, him not getting really able to fit into the offense these past couple weeks, what does that do for him? And, that's my question. And just on a side note, glad you guys are in the studio and not watching the Jets-Broncos game.
We're watching
we
it.
actually are.
watching the game.
It's right in front of us.
Yeah, it's
you are?
yeah, no, it's ugly. It's ugly.
Yeah, evidently I missed some good clock management stuff at the end of the first half, though. I've got a lot of mentions on my on Twitter. People wondering if Aaron Glenn went to the Paul Perillo Clock Management School. Obviously not.
He needs to sign up. Well, Nate, in regards to your question, I'm not sure it means anything towards Pop Douglas right now. It really might just be more towards their returners are being
Mike, who's
thinned
been
out
the
a
slot
little bit.
receiver so far?
It's been Pop.
Oh.
It's been Pop. But we'll see what his usage is today. I mean, and I guess I'd kind of posit this question for Paul, like, just speaking generally, if you had a young player, receiver, returner, rookie, you want to get involved, you want to get his feet wet. Is it better to try to get his feet wet on offense as a receiver, or do you feel comfortable getting his feet wet as a returner? Like, I mean, I think maybe I'm leaning a little more towards the returner side, but I don't know if there's a preferable way.
Well, I just felt like if he was active today because they want to get his feet wet, then I would say maybe as much as you can. But I think he's active today out of necessity.
Okay.
Like they have all these guys are on they were all declared out Friday. There's like 2 guys.
Yeah.
Hayden Wallace, extra lineman, and Eric Gregory, I think, is the other one. So I'm not if they wanted to get his feet wet on offense, he would have been active before now. They have 5 receivers been active every game. He's the 6th. I would guess that if he plays today, he's going to get a chance to be on the kick return unit. And I can't tell you how many times Bill Belichick used to say, if you have a role on game day, and whatever that role is might allow you to expand that by getting some opportunities elsewhere. So if you're the kick returner and you're out there, they might look and say, well, let's see if we can find a way to get him on the offense somewhere and see if he can give us a spark, like you said, with the ball in his hands as a runner in the preseason. He did some good things in that Minnesota game. Maybe you give him a snap here or there. I mean, Kyle Williams gotten more than 10 snaps in a game?
Yeah.
He's the 5th receiver.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So now you're looking for a 6th receiver to get a role. like I said, if he can be a kick returner and then maybe they figure out, well, he's active, we might as well use him somewhere else. We'll see.
Yeah.
We need the bodies. All right, well, it's time now for our favorite part of the show, Over and Unders, brought to you by Aaron's. They're the official lawnmower of the New England Patriots, and they're proud to help Patriots fans get back to football. You can visit them right now at www.aarons.com to find your errand. So the downfall of Paul Perillo in the over-unders unfortunately continues, but let's take a look at the numbers, Paul.
Yeah.
That's why they wanted the headshots.
Truth hurts. Truth hurts right
but
there.
Dude's coming in hot.
Yeah, those are the standings from last week. Mike is like, come on,
Right.
what, me again? Why?
Why am I so good?
So Kwani, however,
right in the middle,
has the season lead at 18-12, followed by Mike at 17-13, and Loser Boy is 11-19.
I need to step my game up. He's calling himself Loser Man.
I went 1-5. I was
You're
down.
a winner, Paul.
What did you say earlier? Relegation round.
Well, we can't relegate you. We need you here on the pregame
And
show.
I'm getting all kinds of static from my headshot that I sent in because you did all that work and it doesn't even look like you. Like it looks like me. I mean, that's me.
Paul Perillo pass.
Anyway, I'm not happy. I'm in last place.
It's okay. I think you still have a chance. Just keep believing in yourself. All right, we're going to start now with Drake May passing yards, 240.5 right now.
All right, I'm going to start us off. I'm going to get crazy. I'm going to go under just because I think they're going to keep things underneath, and I think it's going to be more of a balanced game today, not a big Drake game.
So I do think they're going to try to get that running game going. There's a lot of talk about the running game, and generally when that happens in NFL circles, you see a commitment to it in game day. Vrabel's made some mentions too. They feel like they're really close, and those X plays that really sway it. Oh, love the X, love the X right
the
there.
lingo.
We need a bingo card for
they
our
really
show.
sway the numbers. You get one big chunk run play, and that puts the average up and everything. I'm still skeptical. I'm going to go with the over on Drake May. I still think the offense needs to go through him. I'll take the over.
I'm taking the over as well because when you said the run, they want to emphasize the running. I can understand that, but I think after last week, that connection with Diggs and really getting that offense going, I want to see more passing from Drake. So we'll see.
No, that's fine. My feelings weren't hurt at all.
This one might make or break if we're tied or not next week. All right, up next we have Drake May passing TDs 1.5.
PP.
I'm going to take the over on that one, too. He didn't throw any last week. I think he makes up for that one in the dome.
Yeah.
2.
At
least 2.
I'm going to take the... I'll take the over on that as well. And I'm not copying you, by the way.
It certainly seems that way, but I don't know why anybody would want to. I'm 11-19.
Hey.
I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to say under. He throws just one,
under?
and there's a couple rushing touchdowns. So there it is.
All right, keeping the balance. All right, up next, Kayshon Boutte, receiving yards. I'm first on this one, 25.5. I'm going to take him with the over. Let's get some booty.
Yeah, I like that. I think
That's
that's like, to him, that's like 2 catches.
Yeah,
that's like 2
right.
catches, like a 14-yarder and a 15-yarder. So I'm going to say, I'm going to take the over 2 on Boutte.
Yeah, I like the over on this. I think Mike Vrabel has been very cognizant of his individual players and their backgrounds and where they're from. And I think Kayshon Boutte played at LSU, grew up near New Orleans.
Does Will Campbell catch a touchdown?
I like the over.
Right.
No, but they allow him to. They allow him to block.
After his
On the
pregame
bayou.
meal, Aria.
On the bayou.
Correct.
Up next, we talked about him earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Alvin Kamara.
40
Rushing yards, 40.5.
Yeah, I'm going under on that one.
Yeah?
Yeah. Those receiving yards, I might be tempted, but I think I think they'll keep him in check on the ground.
I totally agree with Mike. I think he is, and I love Alvin Kamara. I think he's a terrific player. I'm going to go with the under on this one. I think it's the Kendre Miller time in New Orleans.
I'm going to take the over just for the drama of it all.
Ooh, love the drama.
I love the drama. I think it keeps the show spicy. All right, longest TD yards, 34.5.
Oh, boy. That's
it
you,
is.
Paul. Yeah.
Longest TD yards, 34.5. I'm going to take the under on that one. I've been missing on these quite frequently, but I'm going to take the under.
That's you, Kwani.
I'm going to take the over.
You take the over?
Yeah, I'll take the over.
I'm going to go with Paul on the under. I think Patriots will keep it in front of them, and then I'm not sure Jake's going to chuck one today, so I'll go under. I don't know.
Right. It's all up in the air at this point.
Yeah.
All right, finally, total score, 46.5 points.
Oh, I got to do math real quick.
Yeah, to make sure
you go, Kwani,
everything lines up. I have to do math too, I guess. I'm going to take the over.
You going to take the over?
Take the over. I don't know why this is an offensive heavy game to me. Clearly, but
I'm going to go I'm going to go under on this one.
Okay.
Because that's what my score is, but I won't.
Mike is predicting a riveting game with all unders except for Keyshawn Booty's 25.5.
It'll be the one big play. It'll be exciting.
What about you?
So I'm going to take the under as well. Mostly it's because I don't feel like New Orleans has much firepower.
Yeah, right.
All right, there we go. We'll see how we all do this week. All right.
It's an interesting game, though, because of it's a good gauge. I know that the word gauge was used a lot last week for the Buffalo game, but I think this one is a gauge of your progress as much as any game. And it's not because I think New Orleans is, so much behind the Patriots. I think the Patriots are trying to emerge from that group, in the lower half of the league and try to get themselves into the upper half of the league, right? This is a good gauge to see if you've done it, if you have some maturity. It's a really young roster. I think it averages roughly over 26 years of age. It's one of the youngest rosters in the league. This is a maturity game, guys. Like, this is, do you take prosperity and do you benefit from it, or are you sort of, limited by it in some way? I think you can get sort of busy reading your press clippings and whatnot and get tied up in that, but you can't. You can't. You have to go out and play a good football game today. Now, if they don't win it, but they play really well, it'll be disappointing. But if they lose this game and it's because of the way the Giants lost last game, I'll be really disappointed because I think that they've progressed further than that.
Well, it's a great example. I'd point back to the crazy results of the last 2 weeks with the Saints, beating the Giants go and beat the Eagles. I mean, right now we're watching
anything's possible in the
Denver
league right
hanging on against a Jets team that's thrown for 45 passing yards.
A Jets team that is yet to crack triple digits in total yards, Mike. They have 94 yards.
I didn't know how badly I could put it, but I mean they're going for 4th and 8. They very well might lose this game.
I'd kick the field goal. I got to be honest with you.
But Denver, by most accounts, one of the best offensive lines and one of the best defenses in football right now. So I think just some of these close examples that are happening around the league just show how week to week. I mean, look at even Carolina with the Patriots blowing them out and then they bounce back. So, in this kind of relegation level, a lot of stuff is on the table, and especially if you play bad. If you play bad and you turn the ball over, I mean, that's probably the formula here as well for why this game with Denver and the Jets is close right now. So, the Patriots to play a clean game, go out there and execute, get a fast start. Maybe you get some help from special teams. That's something we haven't really mentioned. The Saints special teams, ranks dead last in the league. A lot of it because against Seattle, they just had a terrible first half. But they've missed some kicks. They've allowed good field position. They've allowed a punt return for a touchdown. So that might be a sneaky place where Patriots can create some separation, and maybe then it settles into a different kind of game because, let's face it, a lot of these games that you don't expect, they go down to the end.
Can you allow me a quick second for
please, the floor is yours.
For a red zone respite?
Oh, yeah, get in there.
Okay. If you played an entire game, which is, to this point, 58 minutes and 50 seconds, and you had compiled 95 yards and you faced a 4th and 8, would you go for the 4th and 8 thinking, I have 95 yards for the balance of the game. I can get 8 here. Or would you try a 62-yard field goal?
Well, if it's Nick Folk.
What's your kick right? Yeah,
I don't care who your kicker is. What do you think there's a better chance of?
I think you kick
probably
it.
making that kick.
Kick it.
I mean, he made a 52-yarder earlier in the game. Will Lutz has a 57-yarder in this game. Like,
have you ever considered
I'm
coaching?
not telling you that you can make a 62-yard field goal and like you should expect to make it. I just feel like when you've played 59 minutes and you have 95 yards, I don't think there's a prayer in hell that you're getting 8 yards on 4th down.
Yeah.
And by the way, in case, spoiler
alert, 10% of their whole yardage.
Justin Fields was sacked. They now have 82 yards of total offense.
Yikes. Things are bad there for the Jets.
Hate to see it. Right, seriously.
0-6.
Not looking good.
Aaron Glenn.
Not a great win for Denver either.
Don't buy green bananas.
No, is Denver in the trap game category? Is that, or is this like
I don't
they
think
flew from Denver to England?
Like Denver is at least a playoff team from last year. I don't know how good they are. They're sort of developing. This was just one of those ugly games. This is they put a box up in the middle of the third quarter, and Mike and I are looking at it like this. That's,
turnovers and
that's like allow a team to hang around 101. You allow, you fumbled the ball in your first drive. Set up the Jets scoring drives in this game were 4 plays, 3 yards, 4 plays, 1 yard, 10 plays, 37 yards, and they got a safety by sacking the quarterback in the end zone.
I gotta say,
and the Broncos had to hold on for dear life at the end of the game. And I'm telling you, they would not have felt great if Nick Folk lined up. I think it was the 44-yard line at the end of the game. So that's 54, and that's 62-yard field goal.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that's a crazy field goal in this day and age with these. Evidently, with the new procedures with the K-balls, is adding some say 5 to 7 yards on these field goals.
Yeah.
Take the shot.
I just think that would have been a better option.
Yeah. I mean, it's
okay.
Jets are a mess right now.
We don't need to turn this into
this is not the Jets pregame show. Now post-game show.
Denver's like, let's get a win and get out of here. Get on the plane and get out of here.
I guess they spent the whole week there.
They really?
My boy No Socks was telling me they've been there all week.
That idea.
All right. Well, it's time now for our Sunday Six Pack. It's brought to you by the Massachusetts 250 campaign, commemorating a history of possibility. You can plan your revolutionary weekend at Massachusetts250.org. All right, how did we do last week, Paul, with the 2-packs?
So this is I can actually hold my head up. I can hold my head up on this one. I actually went 2-0 last week. And
I guess we had a 50-50 shot at getting them all.
Kwani and I went 2-0, and Mike, as you see, you're a loser boy on this one.
I'm loser.
The 6-pack standings are Kwani at 14-12.
Oof.
Paul at 13-13, and Mike is relegated at 10-16. But Mike, I don't know if you realize, but Kwani is in first place in both of these.
It doesn't.
These games.
It's beginner's luck.
Right. Let's chop it up to beginner's luck. There's some reasoning behind the
We'll see.
decisions.
We'll see. It's a long season, Paul.
Exactly. We'll
the
see at
cream
the
rises
end.
to the top.
If it was all worth
so I'm
it.
told.
Okay. First up, we have the Chargers at Miami right now. LA with 4.5.
The lack. I'm going to go with the lack. I don't believe in Miami, especially without Tyreek. Chargers' offensive line has been destroyed, essentially. So that's a tough pick. Miami's Dolphins' defensive line ain't good enough to take enough advantage of it. I'm going to go with the lack. I'll lay the 4.5.
I'm worried about the Chargers' injuries, and it's up front. It's the skill guys. No Quentin Johnston today. No Omari and Hampton today. But I'm going with the Mike Dussault line about the Dolphins. I believe they've lost 8 straight against teams with winning records and something like 14 of the last 15 against teams with winning records.
Talk about a team with no identity.
I will take the Chargers.
Well, it's the identity. You just lose.
Yeah, that is the identity.
You lose to good teams.
No, and I'm gonna go. We're gonna go 3-0 for that one. I'm definitely not.
Lack around.
Yeah, we're all lacking.
We're all lacking.
All right, we have the Browns at the Steelers right now. Pittsburgh 5.5.
Got Dylan Gabriel and division matchup. Go ahead, Paulie. That's you.
Yeah, I'm going to take Cleveland to cover this one. 5.5. I don't think Pittsburgh's offense is good enough to lay 5.5 against that Browns defense, so I'm not going to do it. I think they'll win the game, but I think Cleveland will keep it close.
I'm gonna stick with Pittsburgh because they've been consistent.
Aaron Rodgers.
Ironically,
I'm gonna lean with Paul though. I think it's gonna be a close game, divisional game. I like Cleveland's defense. I just think it's a matter of time before somebody really starts to get after Aaron Rodgers. So I'm gonna take Cleveland, close one.
There we go. All right, up next we have 4 o'clock games. Titans at the Raiders, Las Vegas, with 4.5.
Oof, that's you, Kwani. You're up first on this one.
Ooh, let's see. Wow, this is gonna be a riveting matchup for sure. That was definitely sarcasm. I'm gonna go with Tennessee on this one.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
On the road.
Yeah, I'm taking Tennessee too. 4.5. One win.
It says Oakland, by the way. I meant Las Vegas. I read that improperly. I'm like, wait, that's Las Vegas. We're still in the old school.
That's funny. I just noticed that.
It doesn't matter.
The Raiders should not be giving 4.5 to anybody. I'm going to take Tennessee.
There we go.
I'm terrible at this game. I'm going to take
Vegas.
Vegas and just make it interesting because I got to make up some.
This is where
You
he's
should
on.
pick Oakland, actually.
This is the second
That's
time in the
Does that
show
count?
he's channeling his inner Hardy. This
The
is what
Raiders.
Hardy used to do. He'd
Yeah.
fall behind and then he'd wait.
Just start
make stupid decisions.
You
to
have to
try
trust your gut.
He'd pick and choose when he could go by himself and see if he could steal a
I
game.
mean, my gut just says bleh to
Yeah,
this whole
man,
game,
that's-
so
yeah.
I'll take Vegas.
Justin Fields, 9 for 17 for 45 yards, sacked 9 times.
Boy.
9 times. He's just leading you down the
11
primrose
hits.
path, Mike.
Leading you.
I think that's it for Justin Fields.
Yeah.
That's it.
Time to move it on
looking
to somebody else. I guess.
Anyway.
Great. All right. Up next, Sunday Night Football. Detroit Lions at the Kansas City
I think we skipped the San
Skip
Francisco.
those
I just
Niners.
looked right over the Niners and Bucks. So
This is
sorry.
a good game this
I
afternoon.
think that would be a
guy.
good game. That would be a better game than Tennessee, Vegas. Tampa Bay with 3.5.
Whew, I guess I'm back up. Man, Mac Jones also back up.
Mac Jones will play,
Mac Jones will
evidently.
play.
A lot of guys out for both teams here, though. No Godwin and Evans for the Bucks.
Yeah, that's tough for Baker. I'm going to just go
San Fran and-
with Baker. I'm going to go Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I'm going to take Tampa Bay as well. As Fred Kirsch likes to tell me, the league's a better league with Baker in it.
Is it, though?
I don't really know.
Right.
You can say anything, but
Doesn't make sense.
Is it fact? I'm going to take San Fran on the road.
Mac Jones.
Mr.
Let Mac
Jones cook.
crack.
Let Mac,
Okay.
let Mac whine.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
This is a game tonight to watch. Like this is Kwani. This is my favorite thing.
This is
I'm sure
we
I'll
got a
make it
1
through-
o'clock
I'm sure I'll
game.
make it
yeah,
through
we
the
can
first
actually
quarter.
get
We get home,
cozy at home
you
watching
know,
it.
hopefully sipping some cocoa, reminiscing about great Patriots highlights, and watching a good game tonight.
That's what we want to hear. So the Detroit Lions at Kansas City, like I said, 2.5 Kansas City.
I think you're up.
I'm gonna take.
Yeah.
Ooh, I
No,
don't even
yeah.
know. I don't know what I'm taking. Oh my gosh,
A lot on the line for
I
this.
haven't. Right, it is. I haven't loved the way Kansas City has played this season, but I'm gonna take the Lions. Just you know what?
You're going to just take the
I was gonna
offensive
take-
powerhouse.
Right.
Yeah, then when in
We'll
doubt,
see.
when
I
in
hope
doubt,
I'm
bite kneecaps.
But
Paul
exactly.
always says, right?
Aggressive defense.
Yeah, I'm going to take Detroit too.
Maybe I should change my
They're
answer.
playing. They're
I'm kidding.
playing better, I feel, than Kansas City has. So I'm going to take the Lions to keep
Yeah.
it rolling.
I'm gonna break the trend again. I'm gonna go Kansas City at home.
You might be-
the
you
T
might-
Swifts. They Taylor Swift just dropped a new album. The vibes are high.
They're clearly playing that in the locker room tonight.
They're playing in the locker room. They know it's all happening. So I'm gonna go Kansas City.
I feel like you're gonna be right just for that one reason. We'll see.
Probably not though.
And of course, our game, the Patriots in New Orleans, New England, with, like you said, a small 3.5 spread here.
Yeah, I guess. Is that back to me? I don't even know. I'll just go. I'm gonna go Patriots on this one. I think it's gonna be close early. Patriots kind of pull away late third quarter, early fourth, and win by a couple. I'm gonna say Patriots 27-13.
I have a similar kind of scenario. I do think there's a plausibility of the Patriots kind of, early on, they're feeling each other out and knocking off some cobwebs, and then they eventually, I think Drake May heats up.
Yeah.
And once they do that, I think that's the difference. And I thought we heard from John Hendrix, and he said one of the matchups, I think, Kwani, you asked him about the matchups that he's concerned with, and that was one, sort of containing the athleticism of Drake May. I think that's the difference. 27-6, I'm going to say, because I just don't see any offense from New Orleans.
Okay. Well, I'm going with the Patriots as well. One, because they haven't failed me the last 2 weeks, but two, mainly because we talked about that identity. And like you mentioned, on offense, I really like what we're seeing with this team, the chemistry that they're building. And then defensively in Buffalo as well, just looking at the Saints offense, I feel as though the Patriots can get it done on both sides of the ball today.
I think so, but definitely, some questions coming out of that Buffalo game with Hawkins not playing. You get Chase on back. How does he look? Is he ready to go? And I mean, I always get excited about the opportunity just to see some other guys get opportunities. Interested to see if Kyle Duggar's back in there playing every snap as a safety, or is Del Pettis? Does that signal that they just think Kyle Duggar is really kind of more of a linebacker in their system? I'm not exactly sure, so we'll get some answers pretty quick on that. And also just Christian Gonzalez, like we talked about, his management. Is he ready to go wire to wire? And I think if the defense plays the way that they're capable of playing, they should be in a pretty good spot. But again, I think this defense overall has just been a little bit, at times there's been plays to be made. Now last week that was Josh Allen, so you accept it. If it's happening this week against Spencer Rattler, probably be a little bit more disappointing. So hopefully they can really put the clamps down. Like I said, keep everything in front of you, come up and tackle, make them continuously execute and hope that their drives flame out one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it in a nutshell. You know, I think if you just play safe, don't let Rashid Shaheed get behind you.
By you.
Oh,
there's one last one.
How many times will we say by you while watching the game today?
Like that to me was the biggest play in the game. Like you could talk about all those turnovers that the Giants had last week, but the 87-yard touchdown changed the game.
Yeah.
And those big plays will do that. So just make sure that, you know, whoever it is, whatever combination, is it Duggar, is it Pettis, who, you know, whatever, you know, I actually think it could be more corners out there too. You know, maybe we see more Alex Austin today than we've seen, you know, in the recent past. Just keep everybody in front.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all that we have for this Patriots pregame show, fueled by Duncan. For Paul Perillo and Mike Dussault, I'm Kwani Lunis. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be right back here in the postgame.
Hey, this is Alex. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.